So listen, when you do money mindset work, you are basically installing a set of belief structures and a set of judgments, or breaking down beliefs or judgments in accordance with the mindset of the teacher that you're taking the class from, which is wonderful, and that's a great spot to start. But when we're creating limitless wealth over a lifetime, I'm generally working with people who achieve their goals and then get a new goal, and then this process goes on and on and on, and there's constant growth and constant evolution, and every time they achieve something, they're not satisfied anymore, they want more. And these kinds of people make great impact in the world, and they do good stuff. And so the ability to reprogram your mind at will is the skill set that you want. You don't want to just do more money mindset work. And the reason that this is so important is because the same sets of belief structures that you put in at a certain stage of your journey no longer apply as you move on and you move forward. And I'll give you an example. So when I hired my first business coach, I learned to sell high ticket things. And when I started my journey, I didn't have staff, I didn't have digital infrastructure. So the best way that I could to serve people was to serve them one-on-one. Now, as time has gone on, I have team and I have digital infrastructure. And so now doing really high ticket one-on-one work, it prevents me from scaling, it prevents me from really having full leverage. And so that's a very small part of my business, the one-on-one private work. And so all of those belief structures that once were great and they served me and they helped me to get to where I am, now those exact same belief structures are too small. And so where this leaves people and where this becomes a problem for people is because they'll feel like, I already did this work first of all. And so they don't actually know how to work with their own mind. They don't know how to examine their beliefs or examine their judgments or have control. They just kind of like read the books and, take on the ideas of others, which, I mean, honestly is good enough to get you far. But if you want limitless wealth over a lifetime, the skill set that you want to need, that you want to have, and the skill set that I teach my clients inside of my limitless wealth offer is on how to work with your own mind. We're talking about how to identify when your words bump up against a belief, how to examine your stories, how to take down a belief structure, how to take down a judgment, how to install a new belief structure, how to install a new judgment. And what this does for you is, so listen, when we go back to our wealth identity, and we see this is the life that I want to have, this is who I want to be, what mindset is in support of that? And this is where when you're when you're on the internet and people are like, oh, alignment, it gets effortless. When you start eliminating the internal conflicts between your mind and your heart and who you want to be and your actions, like, stuff does get way easier. And so I just want to give this example for you. So just imagine for a second the work of Grant Cardone. And if you're not familiar, Grant Cardone is a real estate mogul who's got a massive business in many different facets, and he's essentially building a multi-billion-dollar empire. That's where he's going. And then I want you to compare and contrast that to Denise Duffield Thomas, she's got a book called Chillpreneur, and basically she teaches on how to create a life of luxury and leisure, by basically doing the smallest amount of, work possible, like how to use your feminine magnetism to attract money. These are they want two different lifestyles, right? The chillpreneur is different than the empire builder. And the mindset that they're going to have, while they're both in business and there's going to be some overlap, they're going to need a different mindset. So if you've read the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, it's very like, suck it up, buttercup, get your shit together, like, roll with it. And chillpreneur is kind of like, is there an easier way? Can you leverage this? Can you outsource this? Is there a way that you can make your fun part of your business, right? And these are two different ways of thinking, and they're both great. And when we can understand how to work with our own mind, to get our mind behind the wealth identity, then we start to have the belief structures that support that life. And that's really, really important for where the magic happens. And so when I'm working with my clients inside of Limitless Wealth, I'm teaching the skill set on how to work with your mind instead of just a mindset, because every single one of my clients requires a different mindset to get to their wealth identity, to get to their dream life. It's not cookie cutter. right? It's customized. So if you're seeing like, oh, wow, sometimes I get in my own way. Sometimes I feel an internal conflict. And internal conflict feels exhausting. It feels like struggle. It feels like your mind being like, "Da, da, 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 da," and you never get to an answer. Sometimes you'll feel like you're walking in the same circle over and over again, not getting to a solution. When you look at the same problem and come up with the answer that you already started with, like these are indications that there's so much internal conflict in your mindset that that's going to be the core of your issues until you straighten it out. But once you have that wealth identity and then you put in the mindset to support it, then we start really starting to see I can make clear plans. I have a vision, I have a plan, I have strategies and tactics, and you can start to execute on these things. When you don't have when your wealth identity does not match your money mindset, or when you're lacking one of these, the mind is not helpful. The mind, you're misusing it. The mind is like just busy. It's just swirling and you really get nowhere. So if you want to understand how to work with your own mind, if you want the skills to take down a belief, to add a belief, to take down a judgment, to add a judgment, to find these internal conflicts, to go into your psyche and find your deepest fears and find these internal conflicts, I would love to help you with that. So in the description is a link to my calendar, and you can book a call with me and we can kind of get started, see where you are on your journey, see if working with me in Limitless Wealth is appropriate for you, and then kind of go from there. So I would love to take a half hour to talk to you, to get to know you and to serve you in the best way that I can. All right. So I love you so much. I hope to talk to you on my calendar, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.